We're on page 9. In your paper pack, you will find this print. On the back, it looks like this. Looking at your paper, actually look at your paper like this, straight on. Measure over 8 inches and cut. For now, stick your pieces in your reserve. Now measure over 6 inches and cut. Go ahead and flip these over. Okay, so what we're going to do is stick these off to the side. Stick one of your pinks or your blue off to the side for page 10. We're going to work with page 9 by itself. In your reserves, you will find this print. On the back, it looks like this. Let's cut out. We'll just chop this off and set it off to the side. Let's cut out and around this. This is an envelope. Once you have these cut out, we'll stick them on our scoring board, and we're going to line up and score like we did the other one. And you'll want to score lightly, even though it's good paper. So once you've done that, we're going to fold on our little score lines there. And we're going to do like what we did before. This is a good time to get a scratch piece of cardstock to slide in there. There we go. And we will add our glue. There we go. And then this will come over the top. Let's grab a brad. Okay, for the brad, I'm just going to poke it through here. And we'll flip this up. And we will bend these back. But you'll want to make sure that you leave enough room. You're going to want a little bit of string or ribbon. Okay, when you were cutting out your envelope, you should have some clippings. So we're going to kind of do the same thing. We'll measure across the fit. And make sure you have enough string there. You don't need that much. We'll put a little glue and place our string. And now we will glue this down on top of it. Alright, and then if you need to adjust, which I do, I'm too tight here, there we go, and snip off like this. Alright, so I've got this one done, and what we're going to do is glue this down. Now what we want to do is just put it on one side and the bottom, so this can still be a pocket. I might have to refill this. So we're just going to put a stream of glue bottom and that side, so it will place right like this. These two go to our page 10, so we'll stick those off to the side. In your reserves, you will find this on the back. It's pink. Cut out and around this panel here, this little cutout. After you cut out the panel, if you are still attached up there, just clip those, and we'll put those in our reserves. Make sure that we all have the same leftovers there. Okay, all we're going to do here is what we've done before. We're going to glue it down to some white cardstock, leaving just a little bit of white border around when we cut it out. All right, so because this is a pocket that people can slide things into, we're not going to put a whole bunch of glue back behind here. In fact, we're just going to place some at the bottom behind and place it slightly at an angle there. We're now on to page 10. All right, we are on page 10 and we are going to do a double pocket. cut a piece of cardstock that is 5 inches by 10 inches, and also cut a piece of cardstock that is 3.5 inches by 10 inches. This is going to be, like I said, a double pocket for us. And once we've done that, we are going to take our punch and we are going to punch along the long side of each one of these. So let's do that. Alrighty, so I have one for my pink and one for this. Lay a piece of cardstock at the bottom. Whoop, there goes Sissy again. I don't know what is up with the dogs today. They have been just barking, all of them, not just mine. All the dogs in the neighborhood have been getting funny today. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is, after we lay our score tape, is I'm going to give this just a little bit of a bend. And I'm going to make sure that I have sides to wrap around the back on both, and I'll bring it down. I'll lay it, I'll press in the middle, and push up. Now all we have to do is wrap these around the back and tack them down, whether you use your hot glue or your other glue. I'm going to use my hot glue for some quick tacking. Okay, so there is our first pocket. In your paper pack, you will find another one of these. On the back, it looks like this. So we're going to look at it like this, where it's sideways. Measure over 2.5 inches and cut. Stick these in our reserves. And so this is what you have for the boy, this is what you have for the girl. What we're going to do is measure over 8 inches and cut. Stick these in reserves. We're going to apply glue and glue that down. Okay, take your other piece and we're going to apply our score tape at the bottom here of our page. I'm going to make sure that that's down really good. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to give it a little bit of a bend here. We'll bring it down to the bottom, press in the middle, and out. And then we will wrap these around the back side and tack our flaps down. In your reserves, you will have your, sorry about the camera, it keeps bouncing there. You'll have these two. On the back, it looks like this. Alright, this is the girl album. I'm just going to measure to fit at this point. It's just as easy as giving a measurement. Make a pencil mark there. And then for the bottom, here. My first cut is going to be this way. Then I'll cut over this way. And then we're going to glue it down. Alright, now this next bit is where it comes into play when I said to save every bit. Look to see if you can find a very narrow trim. This one is white on the back, and it has the white with the little teeny blue hearts. So I located some for my pink. It's in 2 pieces. I don't know why it's not in a full piece like this, but this is what I'm going to lay down right here. If you do not want to use this piece, you can definitely use something else. But I am going to do something like this. So I'm going to glue this down. Alrighty. The next step is this. So in your reserves, look for a piece of scrap cardstock if you have it. All we're going to do is we're going to apply glue to the back of this, and I've got mine all the way cut out and around, as you can see. And I'm just going to lay it down, giving myself a little bit of a white border, and then I'm going to cut out and around it. Alright, so I'm going to just put some glue on the bottom there and up a little on the side. You may want to stick a scratch piece of cardstock. I'm looking for a piece for me. I'm going to slide it in that pocket there. And then I'm going to place it slightly at an angle. So you should be able to get something back behind here, as well as in your pockets. Make a small bow with your ribbon. And we're just going to place that right in the center of that heart. Alright, this page is complete. We'll flip it over, score tape around the outside like a picture frame, one in the middle, and two on either side, since this is so broad and will hold quite a bit of photo mats. And then we will place that in our book. Alright, so I've got my boy album, my 9 and 10 in, and my girls. You know, I was flipping back through here. I really don't think we need to add any more flowers. At least I didn't see so. So if you want to add more flowers, go ahead to any of the previous pages. We are now on to our last couple pages, and when we're finished with that, I wanted to show you an idea that I had of using some folders for the inside of here. So let's move on to page 11. We are on page 11. In your paper pack, you will find this print. We used it before, and we're going to use it a little bit differently here. So our first cut, looking at it like this, we're going to measure over 8 inches and cut. We can stick these in our reserves for now. And we're actually going to be doing page 12 at the same time. Now, looking at it like this, we'll measure over 6 inches and cut. Alright, let's flip these over. Page 11, page 12. Alright, grab these back out of your reserves, and I'm looking at them like this. We're going to measure over 6 inches and cut. I'm going to go a little bit different than what I originally thought I was going to do. Okay, let's grab some cardstock. Cut 2 pieces of cardstock that are 5.5 inches by 8 inches. And for now, let's just stick these off to the side. Once you have your cardstock, we are 5.5 inches, 8 inches. Along the long side, we're going to punch on each one of these. So let's do that. Alright, verify that this is going to fit. Now, one thing that we may have to do, which I'm going to do, is trim. Now, first off, this one is going to go off to the side. So I'm going to trim off any excess white here. And my other one is over here. And I'll place this. They're going to be the same. So I'm going to trim off, oh gosh, about 1/8 of an inch to start on the side over here. So what you see I'm doing with the pinks is what you're going to be doing with the blue. So let's start this off. You're going to need your score tape, and we're going to place it. Just place that. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see real well. I'm going to shut the back blinds really quick. Okay, hoping you can see and it isn't all washed out. We're going to do a side pocket. Instead of being down here, it's to the side. And in my mess somewhere, I have buried my craft knife, which I definitely do need. Oh, what happened? Here it is. When this tutorial is done, I'll be doing some deep cleaning of my craft room. I have my parents coming first week of July. And I also, during that time, am going to be announcing the winner of my mini album giveaway, my little Sea Breeze album. I'm going to see if I can't get them to be in the little video. You guys get to see my mom and dad. I get to see them about once a year, and hopefully they won't chicken out from getting on camera. We'll see. You'll know if you watch it. I'm by myself. Okay, so we got those. Real simple. We're going to wrap around the back side, tack them down. Okay, this side we're going to apply glue, and we'll glue that down. We'll apply glue to this, and we'll glue that down. So this is where we are. Let's get some cardstock. Cut a piece of cardstock that is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. We are 8.5 inches across the board at 7.25 score. And my cat is growling at Sissy in the background. So 7.25 score, and it's 7.5 we're going to score, and then we're going to fold on our score lines. We're going to start with the inside, and our flap is off to the right. In your reserves, you will find this print. For the girl, it's this. For the boy, it's that. Flip it over, and we got the little kids there. So what you're going to do is place this on your piece here. And we're going to make some marks. So when you place this, make sure you are not on that inner hinge. In fact, you should be, about 1/8 of an inch in away from it for this. So as soon as you have it laid down, we're going to come over here and make a pencil mark. And then we want to have a white border down here, so we'll make a pencil mark this way. Our first cut is going to be this way, and then we'll cut that way. Look in your reserves for a piece of cardstock that is 2 3/8, and that you can cut 2 3/8 by 8 3/4 wide. Then we're going to punch along the long side. Okay, I have mine. And we are just going to take our little piece that we cut here. And before you do that, verify you have the right piece in front of you. It's the one that's going to fit in there nicely without hitting your score lines there, your hinge area. So we'll place a piece of I am tongue-tied, wow, score tape. And we're just going to do a little pocket here. Give a little bend, place it, and we will wrap. And then we will tack these down. Now apply glue, and we are going to glue it down. Okay, so this is where we're at. In your reserves, you should find your blue with white hearts or your pink with white hearts. We're going to be measuring this to fit, so I'm just going to place that right there and make a pencil mark, and I'll make a pencil mark this way. My first cut will be this way, and then I will cut that way, and then we're going to glue that down. Got mine down. Now I'm going to flip it over the other side, and I'm going to pinch back the hinge so it's underneath, so all I can see is what I need to cover here. In your reserves, you will have this print. I'm grabbing the blue one. And it looks like this. On the back, it looks like this. Okay, so we are going to be turning this sideways here. And the first thing we need to do, I believe we should do anyway, is divide these. Okay, so we're going to kind of do, this is the blue one, do kind of the same idea as what we've done before. We're going to place it so we can see still the top. We are going to center this, side to side as best we can. We'll make a pencil mark so we still have a white border. And now we are going to trim. So this is what you should have, and we should have a white border side to side now. So now we're just going to turn it here so we can see across and how we need to cut this way. Centered. Make my pencil mark. And now I'm going to trim on both sides. Okay, your flap is tucked back behind on the left. Place this down. If it's good, glue it down. Let's attach to this one, and all we're going to do is slide it back behind. Make sure you are even. Pinch and hold it. If you feel it slip, make sure that you readjust it. And then we will put that down there. I may have got mine on a little crooked. No, I think I'm okay. Okay. I'll get this one done now. Cut 2 pieces of cardstock that are 2 7/8 inch by 7 3/4 of an inch. Place it on your scoring board so you are 7 3/4 of an inch across. At 3 7/8 of an inch, you will score on each one of these. For die cutters, what you're going to want to do is get your Lawn Fawn pop-up die, and the one I'm using is this one. We're going to place it to where in the center there, right on the score line with those little notches, and we're going to run it through our die cutter on each one of these. Those of you that are not die cutting, what you will do is fold on your score lines. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is push out with your finger back behind on that score line there, and at the same time you're going to bend. So you are like this. Once you have that, just bring it down and smooth out, carefully smooth out. And we'll do that on both of these. Alrighty, in your paper pack you will find this print. On the back it looks like this. Let's cut out this one. We're also going to cut out and around the baby booties. Alright, I got the ones for my girl. I'm going to set those off the side. I'll work with the boy. So what we want to do is lay our piece over this, whether you die cut out for the pop-up or not. So we're just going to lay that right over so we are bringing this up and it's centered. And we're just going to cut this out. So I'm going to draw a line to first get mine out around this, and then I'll cut it down, trim it up to fit. So that is the first one. The second one we're going to do the same thing. And what you'll want to do is bring this up so you can get that cradle in there as best you can anyway. Oops. Okay, I'm going to cut out and around on both of these. I've trimmed this up, and you'll want to trim yours too so that you have a little bit of a white border around your piece. We don't need any in the middle, so you might want to stick a piece of scratch cardstock back behind to stop up any glue so it doesn't get on your table. And I think I put a little too much glue. That's okay. And we're going to press it down. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Time to trim it up. You're going to want to use your leftover scraps from when we were cutting the pale yellow cardstock. You should have a bunch of these. So what you're going to want to cut is 4 pieces of cardstock that are 2 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4 of an inch. Those of you who are not doing the pop-up, You can go ahead and lay yours in there and it should fit in there nicely. Die cutters, all we're going to do is lay that down. We'll make our pencil mark where the slit starts, and we'll also do it for the bottom one. And we are going to measure up 1 inch. So we'll measure up 1 inch, so we will cut that far up. Okay, we're going to do that with all of our pieces. Now, once you do that, slide your pieces all the way down and glue them down. Just like that. Okay, I have all mine here, and you're going to need a couple brads. In your reserves, you will find these scraps. On the back, it looks like this. This is perfect for us. So how this is going to go is we are going to end up gluing these down, right like that, in those little frames there. So let's start by doing that. Remember, die cutters, don't get any glue in there. Let's see. I want the booties over here, so I'm just going to place it right like this, bring it down, and then we'll add our little pop-ups for the inside. And I'll place it inside this one and match it up with the bottom of this one. Make sure they're even. Okay, take your piece and place it at the bottom of this fold-out. It should fit perfectly side to side, or at least close enough. Grab your pencil and you're going to come down to the middle, in between this dot, right center down. So you know where it's supposed to go as best you can, okay? So once you have that, let's poke our holes through. Okay, you know when we cut out and around these, we had some scraps. So I'm taking these scraps for the girl, and we can size them up in a minute. So you're going to need 2 there. If you want to use one of these or a different scrap, you go right on ahead. My pieces here are 7/8 of an inch wide by 2.5 long. And I am going to fold this in half. And once you fold it in half, this is where we glue it together. Now on this one, we're going to reinforce it really good because these are quite stiff. At least mine are. So I'm going to want more than one sheet or one layer of the white cardstock. So as soon as you get this, mount this onto 2 pieces of cardstock. So one, and then you'll cut another. So each one will have a double layer. Your little tab should be pretty sturdy with the doubling up of the cardstock. So what we're going to want to do is put a hole. I'm just going to make a pencil mark here. And I'll make one right here, 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 and here, and we will poke a hole through. Alright, once you have your holes through, place your brad through there, and then just for now, just place it through the hole in that. Flip your piece over, press down, and bend your brads back. Okay, we're not going to glue it just yet because we're going to have to make sure that this is going to work for us, that they can still turn. So placing this down, turn it, place this down, and then up. Let's see, once this is glued down, it will hold. Perfect. Let's apply our glue, make sure that these are nice and tight, and we are going to place them. If you have any glue squirting out, definitely mop it up. Down, it will hold it down. Okay, die cutters, and also if you're not die cutting, you can still fussy cut out to decorate on the inside. Pull these back out. Right here is a cute little boy, little baby boy. His little buns is showing. That's so funny. He's adorable. I want him as a one of my pop-ups. I'm going to fussy cut around him. I will glue him down to white cardstock, and then I'm going to cut out and around him. The next one I'm going to fussy cut is the carriage. Cut out and around, and I'm going to do the same thing with backing it. All right. So I have the little buggy here, so I'm just going to kind of look to see whereabouts it's going to hit on that little tab. Not everything is going to hit on there. I just want to make sure. Okay, so when you're placing this, don't place it flush all the way down. Let it have a little bit of lift off the bottom here so it will crease down and doesn't get caught. And the little one, this adorable little guy, precious one. He's so darn cute. So again, I'll make sure it's lifted up just a little bit, and I'm going to press it. Okay, so you were looking at it and you open it up, there they are. And you put your pictures or journaling and stuff. That is so cute. All right, I'm going to finish up really quick with the pink one, and then I'll show you some ideas that I had right after we get done. This page and this page are complete. Score tape around the backside as normal on this one. This one's a little bit heavier, so I would do score tape around the outside, one down the middle, and two on either side, and we're going to mount it in our book just like this. I'll show you my boy album in just a moment. I have this down. Now back here, this is 2 7/8 inch wide by about 6 3/4, I believe. And all we're going to do is apply glue or score tape, and you want to make sure you put some glue right in here. Cover those so they don't go anywhere. Even though we put glue underneath this, it's a good idea. So we'll just cut a piece of cardstock and we will lay that down right there. And here is my boy album. Everything is pretty functional here. Flops open. So I think that this was a good design for a baby album. I think there's a lot of different things we can do in here. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave the blue one out because I'm going to show you a couple things that I thought might be neat to add. So an idea that I had was to possibly add maybe a little bit of lace up on top of the spine. Thought that might be cute. You can even maybe lace them if you wanted across the top all the way from here around. So mercy for me. I wanted to show you what it would look like. I couldn't help myself. I wanted to show you what it would look like if you added like some sort of lace trim on the top, and I think that is really cute. You could probably do it on the bottom as well. All right, in your paper pack, I want to show you something that you can do. And where is it? Right here. You will see, and this is the boy one, you will see that there are numbers like 1 month, 2 month, 3 month. So what I did was I actually used a circle punch. I cheated on this. But all I did was I created like a card. And this is called a folder for inside the album. And all it is a 5.5 by, oh, what is that? 5.5 by 8.5. It's 8.5, and you score it in half there, and 5.5 this way. But, you know, and then all I did was I used some of my scraps from the yellow cardstock, and I mounted it behind the circled 1 for 1 month. And I backed it with white cardstock. So that is an idea for to do. So that is the end of the tutorial. Thank you so much for joining me. I had a really fun time making these albums. It took me a lot longer than I thought. Building 2 albums at once is quite the task, especially when you're trying to teach it. So happy crafting, everyone, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, so that you can get some updates on when I release new videos. Happy crafting! Have a great summer, everyone.